And welcome back to Gainesville. What a way to start this competition. The perfect 10 from Trinity Thomas, but Alabama was spectacular on the bars. Their last two scores were 9-9-2-5s from Blanco and Doggett. Alabama, the Crimson Tide, last year, of course, they had the SEC championship, and they peaked exactly at the right time. They finished a bit of a disappointing fifth at the NCAA championships. 2 NCAA titles, of course. It was Luisa Blanco on beam, and Lexi Graber earned a share of the floor title.
And Florida was ranked #1 all season long. They ended the regular season in that #1 position, but losing Trinity Thomas really affected their postseason. They did make it to that finals. They ended up 4th in the country and #1 on beam and floor exercise. Let's go down to Sam.
I had a chance to speak with Trinity Thomas right after she scored that perfect 10 and asked her what she was thinking about. And she just told herself, I have to do this, guys. She liked the pressure. She said she's been working hard in the gym. She's been sticking a ton. So she had a good feeling about it. And we are going to have more on Trinity Thomas coming back from her injury coming up next.
Up against Alabama. That was when you unfortunately got hurt that weekend. What do you remember from that meet?
I just remember I wanted to take one more turn because my last dismount wasn't very good. And I remember my coach being like, you don't really need to. And I was like, no, I want to just do one more good one. And I didn't get my dowel all the way over on my giant, and I ended up hanging off and doing like a real low double back, and then like kind of just landed weird and sprained both my ankles. So that was definitely something that I was just super upset about, just because we were going into postseason. I was ready for postseason. We were kind of like gearing up. We were doing so good. So I was definitely looking forward to it. And so that was just something that like kind of, you know, made me a little sad.
How do you feel both physically and mentally coming into this season?
I feel pretty good physically and mentally. I'm still in PT, still working hard in that. I'm doing it, I think, 2 days a week or 3 days a week right now, and doing a lot of treatment and recovery things after practice as well. And so just trying to kind of stay in front of everything and make sure I have my body feeling the best I possibly can, and same with my mindset too.
Kathy, it's been so much fun to watch this young lady blossom, and you know, she's just superb on every level. And the way she helped her team, even after she got hurt last year, was heroic.
And anybody who knows Trinity, she's very quiet in practice. She usually leads by example, by her work ethic and her positivity.
Shania Adam will be first up for Alabama on ball.
Nice height, a little shy of rotation though. That's why the chest was forward, and she had to hop forward. That's a more significant deduction when you underdo something.
Last week she was in the all-around when they went to Oklahoma, scored a 9-8 on that event. Sloan Blakely, exciting freshman from Florida. You know, a lot of the big name stars like Mccusker and Bird and Wong, everybody knows them around the world. Not as many people know about Sloan Blakely, and she is also poised to have a terrific collegiate career.
Well, she came out like fire last week, won the all-around. Nice job on the first 2 flight elements. You really want to see smooth, effortless swing on this event. Nothing but looks muscle. She really showed off that last handstand, and that one after the half turn finished right in that handstand. Double front, difficult to land, but she nailed it. That routine just got better and better as it progressed. Smoother, cleaner. Hit those handstands. The judges sit right on the side, and they want to see that within 10 degrees of vertical, but like everybody says, no, you got to be right on top, no deduction. Look at that double front, a slight cowboy position. That's with the legs apart. Hard to see from the side, from the judge's angle, but what a landing.
All right, here's our first look this season at Lily Hudson, unavailable last week for the Crimson Tide.
Great to have her back in this lineup. Just did a full this week, a little over rotation, so that large step back will be a deduction.
You know, one of the big topics these days in collegiate sports is the NIL deals that these athletes are doing, and really impressive that the next athlete for Florida, Megan Skaggs, has decided to turn that entrepreneurial opportunity into something with a bigger purpose. She talked to us about the
Tiny Boat
Tiny
project
Boats.
originated this past summer. I brainstormed it with a close friend, really when just thinking about how to use this gifted 5th year of gymnastics to give back and make it about more than just gymnastics is really at the heart of it, and why I want to use this year to give back to something more than myself.
And a lot of the money, the proceeds from selling those bows, goes to charities that she's picked. Megan is not only using this 5th special year to give back, but her gymnastics is as good as ever. She is so clean, impeccable form, impeccable technique. Watch the laid out position, just floats in the floor and fought to keep those toes on the mat. I think the judges will take a teensy-weensy deduction. Didn't quite get the stick. But watch the height, the perfect distance from the bar, and then right into that transition to low bar. Much more difficult. Just a little leg separation on the dismount.
Megan Skaggs, the graduate athlete, getting a master's in entrepreneurship, and it's cool to see that she's using her platform to help others.
And notice the bows in their hair. They're rainbow bows. This is their pride, their equality meet. Both teams are celebrating and bringing awareness to that. Shania Olsen, a double twist Yurchenko, 10-0 start value, most difficult ball in the meet, and wow! She has performed that at World Championships, at the Olympic Games for Canada, and it's so exciting to see in college.
Alabama needs a big score. The first two vaulters, Shania Adams had a 9.7, Lily Hudson a 9.75.
And this is one of her better ones. She sometimes loses her form a little bit. Slight soft knees on the second somersault, but so much more difficult than every other vault move.
Dana Duckworth said last week 3 of her top vaulters were not available for the lineup, and that include Hudson and Shania Olsen. Now, talk about superstars. Here's Riley Mccusker, the freshman here at Florida, former world champion with the U.S. team.
One of the best bar workers in the world, just exquisite form. She has phenomenal technique on very, very difficult skills. Like that Van Leeuwen, it's the transition from low to high with the half turn. Watch that position, that Higgins roll, right to handstand, double front half. Woo! Oh, a much better landing than last week. Stood it straight up with that chest high, just a 1-foot movement. That's a great routine.
He's coming after Megan Skaggs, notched a 9.875 for her clean exercise.
So when we talk about these handstand positions, it's not just the cast, but these skills that turn in handstand. You need to be within 10 degrees of that 90, and she's right in there. I've seen her finish it right on top of the bar. For her, that was slightly late, but still well within deduction free.
Haley Quinn now.
1.5 twist, that's a good difficult vault, 10-0 start value, great distance, just a step on the landing. So all the top schools in college gymnastics, they are trying to do as many 10-0 start value vaults as possible. As we've seen, the national champion at the end of the season often has the most 10-0 start value vaults. So it's a huge goal for all these great teams.
The reason that's so important is if 5 scores count and each score has a .05 higher degree of difficulty, a team with those many 10-0 start values comes into the competition with theoretically a quarter of a point lead. And in college gymnastics, a quarter of a point can be a lot.
This is an opportunity for Savannah to really come back strong from that vault. This is a great event. Watch how she closes her legs before she regrasps that bar on her release move. Just really well done. Slightly missed that handstand on the low bar, but nails the one on top. Watch the dismount, double front half.
Oh, that.
She does that as well as anybody in the country. It's very, very difficult. And that's the landing she wants. Good for her. This meet is so important to her. This pride meet. And supporting everyone. They want equality for all people. So she wanted to put up a good one.
Boy, she
and
did.
she did. Well done.
Makari Doggett will be next up for Alabama. Shallon Olsen had a 9.85. Haley Quinn a 9.825. See what Doggett scored last week, 9.85.
This is a big vault if she can rein in the landing. Oh, just the step that she almost had it. Almost. Sometimes you can try to step just a hair too soon. So everything was good. She just rushed just ever so slightly. Couldn't quite stay on those 2 feet. So that step back is a slight under rotation, so it'll be a deduction.
Anything 9.8 or better will help Alabama move into the lead. If Florida has anything to say about it, they are rolling on the bars. You see Savannah Shane here at a 9.825, and here is Trinity Thomas. We mentioned that perfect 10. That means she completes what they call the 12th gym slam in NCAA history, meaning she scored a perfect 10 on every event.
And this was the event she first scored that 10. She always looks so effortless on this event. Just floats these skills from bar to bar. Had to save that handstand. That can throw you off for this dismount. We'll see. Still got it. That is a veteran because she was going for perfection. All right. And when you're on that razor's edge, when you have to dare to be great, you have to go right to the edge. And she was trying to really show off that handstand and just overcooked it. Pretty impressive, though, to pull that back.
Yeah, that takes an impressive athlete to save that.
That cracked my back sitting there.
You can see her face. She, by the way, the third gator in gymnastics history to score that gym slam after Bridget Sloan and Alex McMurtry. Now to Lexi Graber, coming after Makari Doggett. Got a terrific 9.85, almost stuck her vault.
She is one of the great super seniors this year, and she can do a big one here. 1.5. Nice form. I love the way she keeps her legs so glued together throughout that ball.
The 11th annual We Bat Pat Week continues tomorrow with number 10 UConn in Eugene to take on Oregon. 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2 and the app. And the final worker is Leanne Wong coming after Trinity Thomas. Got a 9.75. So Florida has 2 Nevitt 9.75s. We'll have to count at least one of them. And Leanne Wong has an opportunity for a huge score. You see her score last week.
And she is so good on this event. She's quite elegant as well. Everything flows. Whoa, legs apart. That is not normal. Really showing off that handstand. Overcooked it just a bit, so that'll be a slight deduction as well. Sometimes you could try too hard. Could not quite get the landing on the double layoff. You can see the disappointment in her face.
Leanne Wong would need a 9.925 to get Florida lead here at the halfway point, and that is not going to happen. So we have a great one here. Alabama really performing well on the road, and we go into the second half of the competition coming up.